Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins of the official Marvel DC Multiverse. We are now at episode 482, and I'll be doing a review on Daredevil Born Again. Episodes 1 and 2, of course. So, spoiler alert, if you have not seen the first two episodes of Season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, I strongly suggest that you do not listen to this episode. You've been warned. Alright, so, obviously the Daredevil Born Again show takes place after the events of Season 3 of the Netflix show Daredevil Born Again. Season 3 of the Netflix show Daredevil. My bad. So, obviously they decided to make some changes, of course. Like the first 15 minutes of the film, you have the first Easter egg, which I believe is Josie's bar, which was, I believe, in the Netflix Daredevil show. And, of course, you have Nelson, Murdoch, and Page, the little law firm that was founded in the series finale of Daredevil, Season 3, of course. So, yeah, Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. And, of course, right by, at the Nelson, Murdoch, and Page firm, there's an address, 468, which is issue 468 of Daredevil. Which is issue 88, The Secret Life of, Daredevil, The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson. So obviously there was an Easter egg of the address 468, which was referring to that comic of, because during that time of the 88 issue of the new Daredevil series, it's been over 400 pretty much issues altogether, dating all the way back from 1964, I believe. So that was the 468 issue altogether. But the new series was issue 88 of the new series, of course, which was Secret Life of Foggy. So, obviously, he faked his own death, and he ended up being WITSEC or whatever. One of those stories. I don't know, one of those stories. But yeah, it was referring to that. So, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I don't think they're gonna follow that particular comic. But anyway, so of course, Foggy gets killed by Bullseye. Obviously, thanks to Benny, because obviously, Foggy was stashing Benny in his apartment because he was a witness. I guess he stole some artifacts and some wine, I guess. Possibly from Vanessa Fisk, probably. I'm guessing. But, yeah, Benny was in panic mode. He was, in panic mode. He said some people were trying to break in. Bullseye found a way in, despite the fact that Foggy claimed it was supposed to be a secured apartment building or complex or whatever. So obviously it wasn't secured enough because Bullseye found a way in. And of course he killed the fly with a paperclip, which was pretty much, I guess, reference to the 2003 Daredevil movie starring Ben Affleck. And that Bullseye was played by Colin Farrell. So, and anyway, so yeah, turns out Benny calls Foggy later on, or I guess Foggy called Benny, as Daredevil was trying to save the day, trying to check on Benny, see what's going on, checking up on him. So then, of course, Daredevil was able to listen in on the phone call that was made by Foggy. Benny, he was asking Benny if he was okay and what was going on. And of course, Benny tells Foggy that he, which he was referring to Bullseye, wanted to know where he was. and he said he was sorry and hung up. So therefore, he hears the gun cocking from a distance, because it turns out Bullseye was already there, and obviously that was a diversion for Daredevil to come in, and save the day. So obviously it was a deep diversion. And of course, he races back. Daredevil races back to Josie's, and of course, um, Foggy gets assassinated by Bullseye, along with two other cops that came out to check in. Because obviously, when Foggy got hit, it got the attention of two other cops, which Bullseye shot. And of course, he was walking slowly to Karen, and he was taking his time. Obviously, he wanted to save her for last. So he says, "Hello, Karen," and here comes Daredevil to save the day. So obviously, 8 more people were killed in that bar. Obviously, as Bullseye and Daredevil were fighting. So the fight sequence was excellent. It was a one shot fight scene, so that was pretty good. While Daredevil was fighting Bullseye, he was listening to Foggy's heartbeat. So, and then of course his heart stopped eventually. And it was obviously, if you look at him, it was a clear death, pretty much. His eyes were open when he died, and he bled out. So, to say that Foggy faked his own death is good luck with that. I don't see how they're going to be able to resurrect him just like that, So, and of course, Bullseye, not Bullseye, but Daredevil's like, you know what, screw it. He mourns, he's sobbing, he mourns, and he just eventually throws Bullseye off the roof, pretty much. Which I didn't see that one coming. And of course, Bullseye obviously survives, obviously because he had the reinforced metal plates. He replaced his spine with some type of metal. Can't remember. I don't know if it's vibranium or something, or adamantium. I don't know, but obviously the reinforced skeleton that was placed inside of him, that was the reason why he was able to survive that fall. So yeah. Anyway, you had the and so, but yeah. Of course, a year later, back in a new apartment, a new law firm. Was it Murdoch and McDuffie? Because obviously, his law partner is former district attorney McDuffie. Sorry, yeah, former district attorney McDuffie. So, yeah. And of course, there was a program that said "In Loving Memory" with a braille on it, which is what they use for blind people to read. So, yeah, obviously there was a funeral that he either did or did not attend, but it confirmed that Foggy was dead, obviously, because he takes the brochure every time, with him every day, or the program that says "In Loving Memory" with Foggy's picture. So, and of course, he obviously later on there's a court hearing. That Murdoch and Karen are attending a sentencing hearing, obviously. And of course, Bullseye was found guilty on 11 counts of murder in the first degree, and he's sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. And of course, Murdoch was moving around like Stevie Wonder, pretty much, which is kind of weird, moving his head around like Stevie Wonder. Anyway, so yeah. So of course, fast forward, he's he's now in a relationship with Heather Glenn. They go on a date. Kingpin becomes mayor uh, of New York City. And of course, the announcement's done at Times Square. A lot of people are at Times Square. He gets 50% of the vote, while 53% of the vote, while the I would say the 47% of New Yorkers voted against uh, Kingpin, pretty much. So yeah, he makes an announcement at Times Square. I mean, well, the announcement takes place at Times Square, and of course, there are several Easter eggs. You have the billboard of Rogers, the musical, which was from Hawkeye, from the Hawkeye TV show. You also have an ad that says Happy New Year, which is sponsored by Pim Van Dyne from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second one, of course, the sequel to the first Ant-Man film. You also have that drink, that green drink that was, which was referenced to Incredible Hulk. So you obviously they were advertising that drink, and then you also have an ad of Harlem's Paradise, which is Luke Cage's club, pretty much. And those are the Easter eggs I can think of, pretty much. But yeah. So, but yeah, Fisk is now the mayor, obviously. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, and let's not forget the White Tiger, the second episode, which is pretty good. Um, so obviously there was a fight scene for each episode, obviously, and obviously I like how it's drama and fight scene. There's like action drama is well balanced. I would say. I like the direction they're going. Obviously, Foggy's death needed to happen because that's the whole point of the show. You know, for him to be, he has a because the Nelson Murdoch and Page firm was not going to last forever, obviously. So, but yeah. So obviously they're focusing on new characters, the supporting characters. Kirsten McDuffie, which is the former assistant district attorney, and of course Cherry, who's a retired cop. So obviously they have their personal private investigator. And of course Nelson and Murdoch and McDuffie, obviously, which is a new firm, and Kirsten McDuffie is the new Foggy, obviously. So, and of course, Karen Page moved to San Francisco, obviously. So, but yeah, obviously, you got Heather Glenn. So, obviously, the direction they were going to, which they were going in, was to focus on the new cast, which is the new supporting characters. So, obviously, Foggy and Karen weren't really supposed to be in this series anyway. But due to the new overhaul, they decide. Obviously, the new showrunner Dario Scartapane, decided wanted to put Foggy and Karen into this, obviously. But however, the decision to kill them off was already made before the new overhaul, before Scartapane stepped in. Scartapane stepped in. So Dario decided, if we're going to kill them off, we might as well just do it on screen and make it feel more real and more emotional. So, now, of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to think, like, because they saw that Easter egg of the address 468, that Foggy's going to, come back from the dead or fake his death. Which I don't see that as possible, since that death was a clear one. He bled out. His eyes were open. Sorry, his eyes were open when he died, and he bled out. His heart stopped beating. I mean, how do you... Yeah, because if you're going to bring him back, from the dead, make it make sense. And on top of that, they announced that it was going to be a second season where Foggy and Karen are going to be in there. So obviously, Foggy's probably going to be a flashback or maybe even a hallucination. And Karen too, if she dies in the first season. But anyway, So yeah. Now but as far as the second episode, I like how they were able to, they obviously they balanced it out again to where it's going to be half action, half, you know, drama, because but so yeah, obviously they kept some of the footage from the previous, they kept some of that previous footage and reshot the rest. So obviously they'd start completely from scratch, and obviously I don't know, they might kill our Karen Page probably. I don't know. We'll see. And have her as a hallucination or flashbacks because we need to figure out what led to Foggy's death, and we might not know that until the second season. So obviously, Foggy might be an hallucination slash flashback, obviously. But yeah, so I wouldn't even waste my breath hoping, or waste my time hoping that Foggy's gonna come back from the dead. I mean, how do you come back from the dead if your eyes are, if you die with your eyes open and you bleed out, and you got shot in the heart, which has probably led to an exit wound, probably. So I don't know. It wouldn't make any sense. But if you bring Foggy back, then that takes away from the purpose of the show. And I like how they were able to, balance out the action in the second episode and balance out the drama as well, like they did in the first episode. And I like how they were able to do that fight scene at the very end, and you have that song "Get Free" by the Vines playing. So I like how they were able to do that. So yeah, it's pretty. In my opinion, it's pretty good. It's decent. I mean, I wouldn't say pretty good, but it's good. It's decent. I give it like a 90 out of 100. I mean, you should get it an 89, but to be honest, but I'm gonna be nice and give it a 90. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to episode 3 and see how well that goes. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing Punisher soon. So, but yeah, so yeah, right now he's gonna be trying. He's gonna be right now he's defending, White Tiger, because he's been set up by the dirty cops who had Punisher tattoos on. So that must be part of some type of task force or some, I don't know, but we'll find out. So, but yeah, hopefully it gets better, as every week. So, but yeah, I definitely like the direction it's going. So, and obviously, you can't have, those characters ain't gonna be around forever, on the show. So, might as well just, move on and from Foggy's death, obviously. But I like the direction, though. I like the purpose of the show. So obviously they copied a little bit from Netflix. So I think it's good. Hopefully it gets 20 million views, But we'll see. All right, so that concludes this review. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're available on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitch.